Bankroll Network, play to win.
Crypto Slow with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Bankroll Weekly Update 46. Little late this weekend. Sorry about that, but you know, it's Christmas. So let's get right into it. Bitcoin, looking at the daily, looks like a dead person, flat line. Weekly, we had the 13 cross 34 on the downside, just showing some weekly divergence and weakness. Now looking at the MACD, we're starting to see a little swing up on these oscillations. Sometimes these oscillations can actually go several oscillations before you actually get a solid divergence push one way or the other. Moving to the monthly, we still have that 13 down in that bearish trend, well below the 34. MACD not looking so great, so I personally tend to like the 3-month and the 6-month. We had a crossover on the 13, but dumped right back down on the 34. Now, with that being said, if you were following the markets, there was a guy that dumped $17 million worth of Bitcoin. Maybe he needed a new Lamborghini. I don't know. But that definitely did not help the price. Looking, where was that? Yeah. Just was not good. So on the 6-month, we have a possible crossover, which could be an indicator of a macro of possible strength. But really, honestly, as long as we hold the 8,000 level, we are good to go. I'm not too worried about it. Moving on to Tron. Daily, nice little driftwards, downwards. Weekly, negative divergence. 13 still well below that 34. You know, I harp on this 1334, and it's just a basic trading metric, and it's usually a pretty good indicator of the way things are going. Moving on to the monthly, we had that nice pump up, some consolidation, capitulation, and we had that nice dump down. Once again, just really affected by this Bitcoin's market moving. Moving on to the 3-month. 3-month not looking so bad. Looks like a possible turnaround. And you know, you really have to keep this in mind on the bigger picture, that I would rather have a good looking 3-month or 6 months. See, look at that nice crossover on the 6-month. That could be huge. That shows a whole lot of strength. So when you see a nice crossover on the 6-month like that, it kind of not invalidates it, but the earlier time periods are more noise, because this is the larger, more powerful move. And moving to the year to date, nice cross. Now, how do we confirm that this is a good cross? Well, the big thing is when we touch back down on this line, we'll see a nice jump up or a solid move upwards. This time, based on this chart, we could retrace to 50% levels, which is probably like the 67% Fibonacci. So that's like in the almost 3-cent range. So just kind of keeping our fingers crossed on that. Moving on to Bankroll stats, definitely a solid week for the network. Adding 130 players, transactions are up again. Total TX 653. And you know, something we can do with this is we can start extrapolating growth rates. So if we do equals that minus that divided by that, okay, make this percentage. This goes along the lines, and copy that down. So what do we have here? An 8.57% growth, negative 1.69, 8%, 1%, 2%. But if we look at that as an aggregate down here in the corner, average, Bankroll is averaging total TRX on the network 3.76% growth rate. Now, put that into perspective. No, basically, there's not many dApps left, maybe 2 or 3 that have been around on the TRX chain as long and have a steady growth rate. This last week, 2.66, definitely solid. We're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and add that. We're gonna call this network delta, or just network growth. I mean, this is definitely a solid metric that we should be tracking. Let's put 0% here. So yeah, definitely solid. So what was that? 3.76, 3.14%. So this is growing. It's here to stay. Just kind of really put that in mind when you're getting involved in a network like this. It's pretty badass. Total transactions is up. Telegram users, wow, solid bump, 500. Total players and credits, once again up almost 100. Balance, credits, wow. Yeah, there was that giant buy. It was like a million or something like that. Definitely nice. The drip pool is down just a little bit, which isn't that big of a deal. Total transactions are up. So really all metrics are looking very good. Banker continues to grow. What I would like to see, the other half of the credits people playing Banker in some way. Total mine 3,076,000. We passed that 3 million mark. Total frozen, looks like a little came on frozen. Remaining Banker transactions once again up. Moon 673. So we had some new players that actually joined, and it's probably because the price is becoming a little more attractive. People are thinking maybe it's time to get in, and actually more to that here in a little bit. I got some exciting news on that. Total dumps. We had some dumpers this week taking profits. 1,000. Jeez, that's total. I think it's a running total. So overall, the metrics are looking sweet. Now, with that being said, I had promised after a few weeks I'd go ahead and start aggregating this. So probably in the next week or two, I will have a bankroll dashboard that's going to accompany this, and probably what I'll do is I'll just add a second tab to this sheet and I will call it dashboard. Okay, and we'll start making some growth rates and doing some extrapolations on the data side. So that's looking really good. Bankroll, like I said, no new contract updates at this moment, at this time. Moving on to the Banker price. Banker looking solid at 15, man. I tell you what, I wish I wouldn't have sold so much of my Banker. Oh, I'm so sad. So yeah, we're trading on TRX market now, and also Tron trade. So price is pretty pegged. Chances for arbitrage, you definitely have to be paying very close attention to scoop up arbitrage between these two, you know, and basically when there's moves. So what you clicked on the video for this week. Exciting news. Now, this is information which I've been given. This is some generalities, but since the beginning, we always had a side of the network that loved TRX divs on luck. Okay, so we currently have the Banker staking pool. So from what I've hear, there is going to be a new contract launching which will work in parallel with the Banker. Okay, and there's going to be an additional box on the Banker interface, and you're like, okay, what is this box going to do? Well, this box is pretty exciting. So there's going to be some slight percentage changes to luck mining. You're still going to get your Banker, but as far as how the percentages of where the TRX goes. So with this new update, you are now going to have the option to put your Banker in a new thing called Depot. And you're like, Home Depot? No, what is Depot? So Depot is going to be a new div pool which will pay TRX. You heard me. A new div pool that will pay TRX. So pay attention. So basically, you stake your banker in the depot, and the depot is going to pay out 8% of the TRX pool daily to all the stakers. Okay, so there'll be, I'm thinking initially, I've heard there's a 24-hour unfreeze period, and basically, oh, and here's the crazy part, there's not going to be a stake fee. So basically, you can start staking your banker instantly to earn TRX. So now you have two options as a bankroll participant. You can stake your banker to get more banker and compound your banker, or you can stake your banker and get TRX. Now here's the rub. When you roll, okay, you roll your divs, you get your TRX as divs. Basically, if you roll it, it's going to roll into credits, and then you get the bonus banker. So basically what I'm saying is the divs that you make in TRX will mine a banker as well if you roll them in, if you roll them. So I know it's a little complicated, so let's go over it again. So you come here on banker, you can stake in the freeze pool, okay, which isn't changing, or you can stake in the depot. If you stake in the depot, you will earn TRX divs. When you receive those divs, you can either A, withdraw those divs, and then you get the Tron. Okay, that's it. End of story. But it does not mine any banker. Or you can roll the divs. Your TRX rolls into credits, and you mine banker at 100% rate. Based on whatever the mining rate is. So let me repeat. If you withdraw your TRX, it doesn't mine any banker. You just get your TRX divs, your portion of the pool. If you roll, it rolls into credits and it mines banker. So now you can stake your banker in the normal staking pool and compound banker, or you can stake your banker in the depot and earn TRX, which you can withdraw, or you can roll into credits and also mine bonus banker. So this is pretty exciting news, and this kind of balances out the equation. And you're like, okay, well, where is the money coming from? The money is still coming from luck. That is the primary driver of the system. And there is also another change. Moon will also get a percentage, so that will help pump the Moon contract too. So a lot of it all originates on luck, and like I said, the depot pool will pay 8% out as a proportion to the number of your banker staked. So what does that mean? Important points to take away from this. If you want to stake your banker and get TRX, you need banker. So I assume after this announcement we are going to see some shortages because you're going to need more banker, and it probably doesn't make sense for people to unfreeze out of the staking pool and stake in the depot. It probably makes more sense to do dual staking. So maybe stake in the staking pool, take your divs from your staking pool and put them in the depot, and then you're hyper compounding with TRX, and then you're earning banker and TRX. So basically you get a double compound out of that, depending on it. There's a lot of different ways to play this, but the bottom line is you're going to need banker. Now you're saying when? That's a great question. Soon. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. This is Crypto Slow. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.